All rise. The Honorable Little Miss Ivy presiding. If it pleases the court, I will start with my opening statement. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I stand before you today as a man of faith, yet a troubled man, a man that is shocked not only at the current state of worldly affairs, but most importantly, and what's true to my heart, I am frightened for the souls of my people Israel. You may be asking yourselves, why would a lowly man like myself feel the need or even have a care for those more privileged than himself, risking his life and limb for those he never had the honor to sip a spot of tea with? To tell you the truth, I don't know the answer to that question. But what I do know is, unless someone steps forward and exposes the devils within our midst, their goal of refusing to let us go will surely come to fruition. As lowly as I am, I will step forward as the exposer. Though I might be Southern fried, I accept the suicide mission my people need so desperately. Saying that with a lump in my throat, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby press formal spiritual charges against the black Hebrew Israelites, the black Muslim nationalists, and each and every black leader in America with treason, willfully inflicting physical and emotional damage upon a nation, and being the seed of Rephaim. What the? That's right, Your Honor. If they said one more word, I would clear the courtroom too. So without further delay, I present Exhibit A, Uncle Isaiah 34, Perceptual Context. This is a court case, ladies and gentlemen. I will be building my case exhibit by exhibit. First, I need to get your minds right about how my God communicates throughout the scriptures. How? By going over a couple of scriptures you already know it in your heart they to be true. And then look at how my God worded things as a key legend to decipher other scriptures. Case in point, everybody knows each and every seed of Esau have tainted love and blood and must surely die, right? So all we must do is look at how my God worded it and see if other scriptures have the same language. Easy enough, right? Let us begin, shall we? Quote, "My sword has been made drunk in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea with let me say it again. My sword has been made drunk in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and with judgment upon the people doomed to destruction." Stop. Remember, there are two different judgments for two geographical locations in the one land of Idumea. The Mount of Esau is totally different, yet in the same country. Everybody in Idumea must surely die, but not everyone is Esau's bloodline. Let's continue, please. Verse 6, quote, "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is glutted with fat, with the blood of goats and lambs, and with the fat of goats and rams, semicolon. For the Lord has a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in Idumea." Stop. Again, two separate punishments for two separate locations, but all must surely die. Basically, a surgical strike to neutralize the high Rephaim command, then wet work the rest of the population. But as you can plainly see thus far, we have lambs, goats, and rams being represented thus far. What's that, little Miss Ivy? Right. Not only are you the best in your class at mind play and math, which makes me smile, you have awesome perception too. As you can see, there are three representations presented in a world we all know Paul said is one blood. How could this be? I know a lamb and a ram are of the same genus, but not all lambs turn out to be male rams. So in essence, 3 different representations. And with 3 representations thus far, unless you believe in purgatory, the excuse of good people versus evil people is out the window as well. Let's continue to see if there are any more representations upon the earth. Oh my goodness, little Miss Ivy, your breastplate is flashing. Verse 7, quote, and the mighty ones shall fall with them, comma, and the rams with an S, and the bulls, semicolon, and the land shall be soaked with blood, and shall be filled with their fat. Stop. Wow. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Amazing. So as you can see, we have bulls with an S in the land, and most telling, the mighty ones. In this case to mean the Raphaelim kings of the earth put on the thrones of the angelic evildoers will die with them. Now, are you catching the serpent seed family tree prophecy we just went over? You know, how she spawned many generations of those that would rule the nations. And to prove everything I just said, including the serpent chick tie-in, let's continue, please. Verse 8, perceptual context. My God is about to do what I like to think is his rope-a-dope on the dopes. What I mean is, remember when I warned you not to allow anyone to tell you the answer to this question is over there? It's because in the process, synonymous words, meanings, phrases, and perceptions have already been flipped on what they want you to look at. See, one of the biggest weapons of spiritual warfare the evildoers use is to simply change your perception about what you are reading. Even though the letter Z is written as plain as day, they have already gotten you to accept a different perception way back at the letter A, thus changing your perception of the events throughout the entire manuscript. Case in point, remember when we discovered in the Ashur/Pit video, each nation's name was the name of an actual king/queen or vassal of the earth? Well, check out how this is worded and tell me what you perceive at the end. Quote, for it is the day of judgment of the Lord, comma, and the year of recompense of Zion in judgment. And her valley shall be turned into pitch, comma, and her land into sulfur, semicolon, and her land shall be as pitch burning night and day. Stop. Did you catch it? Catch what you ponder? Catch the fact that if it says, quote, and her valleys shall be turned into pitch, and her land into sulfur, and her land shall be as pitch burning night and day, it can only mean her is a Raphaelim in charge of the land. Hence, the reason I call it a rope-a-dope. And secondary reason to how I know this is one of the serpent seeds who has seeded the Raphaelim, Nephilim, clones, and everything else in between in the land of Idumea. What's that, little queen? What's my primary reason? Well, let's continue so I can show you. Verse 11, quote, and her valleys shall be turned into pitch, and her land into sulfur, and her land shall be as pitch burning night and day. Stop. Real quick first. Notice, in our scriptures, the night is before the day. But in our modern world, you know, the one the scriptures tell us is upside down will tell us it's day and night. Saying that, ladies and gentlemen, not that I am saying, implying, or hinting I am one of the lucky, but if you believe in the scriptures, thus my God, then you have no other choice. Yep, your hands are tied on this matter. You must understand that you should be expecting to cross paths with someone, in this case, a fisherman, that is explaining and promoting within the scriptures a message 180 degrees different than the established orders with an S. Thus, the reason for the much prophesied backlash to such established orders with an S. Why send out fishermen if you were only going to tweak what is being said already? No. This salvation won't come for free. Persecution of belief will be the price we pay for our happiness. But be not deceived. Many false prophets will come forth manifesting power. One look at the modern magicians and hearing them admit they tapped into a force that they can manipulate tells me those who do not know their God, literally looking at the world through their eyes and not the scriptures, are toast. But not the double C's, not on my watch. I said literally because I needed a segue to remind you of our discovery on how the evildoers have perfected the technology to transpose any information anywhere and anyhow they want you to see it. Whether it be transposing a document onto your computer where it registers you actually did it, whether they want to mimic the voice of anyone with the accuracy Germans envy, even down to the ultimate, being able to augment your reality in real time to where they can make anyone you see on the telly say or do anything they wanted. But wait! With facial features and body gestures to match what they are being portrayed to say. You remember that information, I'm sure. So again, the only thing you can depend on until the end days is my God. He will navigate you through the upcoming pain. Don't step off the path he sets to the left or to the right. Those seeking to save their own lives, they're going to lose it. But those who trust and know their God shall endure to the end. Let's continue, please.